Big puncher, 6 knockouts. GERAM Eloyan against the world-class OLEH DOVHUN, 13-0, 5 knockouts.
DOVHUN coming out in the southpaw stance. Both these guys have knockout power as DOVHUN is coming out, throwing heavy leather.
Throwing.
Eloyan's showing up. They're not really landing. The body shots are.
He better be careful, because this is what Eloyan said he likes, when guys come right at him. And remember, first rounds, and when both guys are playing with 100% of a tank of gas. It just takes one shot.
3 of his last 4 wins have come via stoppage, DOVHUN. For Eloyan, 5 of his last 6 KOs have come inside of 3 rounds. The first 3 to 4 rounds of this fight, scheduled for 10, will be interesting. And so far, it's been DOVHUN, the aggressor. But as you saw with Eloyan, he was just able to land a counter right hand through the high guard.
I love the style of both guys. Eloyan just straight up, but he's got those hands in defensive position. Look at that right hand.
It's almost like Eloyan weathered the storm early. Like DOVHUN came out and bombarded him. And he stayed composed, he shelled up. He landed 1 good shot to get DOVHUN off of him. And now they're settling into the center of the ring.
That was a nice plan by DOVHUN to come out quick like that.
He is the A-side. He is the more polished fighter. He's the undefeated fighter, DOVHUN. He is the guy that's ranked 6th in the WBA, in the super bantamweight division.
You know, I was talking to him about a guy that you mentioned earlier, Stephen Fulton, world champion, undefeated.
Takedowns are not legal in boxing. This is not MMA. I know that the NCAA wrestling championships are taking place right now, but you can't do that in the squared circle.
Arthur McCandy has some words for both guys, and both guys do speak English. DOVHUN throwing that southpaw jab like a safety first. There's that European style kind of, you know, where they hold the jab way out in front of them.
Yeah, you saw Klitschko do that for years, right?
Yes. And actually, it was Emmanuel Stewart who honed that with him.
Yeah. Obviously, the amateur pedigree is there for DOVHUN.
Right uppercut.
Nice uppercut there from Eloyan. Eloyan, like, I like his game plan early on. You know, DOVHUN's is gonna be the guy that's coming. Oh, he landed a nice shot there too. Eloyan is landing. He's not the aggressor, but he is landing. That's gonna be an interesting round.
It is.
Score.
I mean, there were a couple of nice shots in there on the part of Eloyan, but I thought that, you know, how are the judges going to look at that early part of the round? Are they going to give credit to Eloyan for defense or DOVHUN for the offense?
Judges love aggression. They love aggression, even if you're not landing. If you're moving forward, majority of the judges today in boxing are going to give you credit for that.
Yes, they are.
And if you go by that, moving forward, DOVHUN was the guy that was on the front foot. But Eloyan landed some good shots. He weathered the storm early. He got in behind his shell and was able to land a few big right hands. So things are starting to heat up. Only 3 minutes in.
This is scheduled for 10 rounds, 122 pounders.
It's clear that DOVHUN's going to be the more active and the more aggressive fighter. I want to see if that will change, though. You know, once he ate a few good right hands from Eloyan, and I always see this in fights. When a volume puncher like DOVHUN gets hit early, he might stop throwing.
The man in yellow from Ukraine, OLEH DOVHUN, the southpaw, against his Belgian opponent, GERAM Eloyan. Eloyan 7-2. with 6 knockouts, got tagged with a hard left hand.
Beautifully placed, beautifully timed from DOVHUN. That left hand is precise.
And he followed it up with a straight left, a hard left to the body as well.
That was like a lightning fast combination. DOVHUN's pushing a lot too. Mercanti's gonna get, I heard him say don't push. You see that a lot with the smaller fighters. They wanna establish a little bit of dominance. They wanna set up some range, so they'll push their opponent back. Can't do that.
DOVHUN's got the puncher moving backwards.
That is one of the most beautiful things in boxing. A fighter that can fight moving backwards. You don't see that too often. You can see the amateur pedigree, the footwork from DOVHUN, to me, is standing out.
DOVHUN's got to be very careful because sometimes when he launches an assault, he gets hit with a counter shot. And this guy, this Eloyan, can punch.
We're only 2 rounds into this fight, but I think it's starting to play out like we thought it would. DOVHUN coming on, aggressive, you know, throwing 5-6 punches at a time. But Eloyan not as busy, but maybe has a little bit more power. You know, sitting down on his punches, throwing 1 at a time. To me, that's a fun chess match.
Many times I say this, whenever you have a right-hander against a southpaw, you're going to see fights more often than not with headbutts. And I think their heads have come pretty close. I think even DOVHUN had taken a headbutt earlier. It didn't do any damage, thankfully, but just watch it. 20 seconds to go here in round number 2.
Last thing you want to see is headbutts in this fight. A good fight, competitive fight. They are part of the sport, especially when you have an orthodox with the southpaw, but hopefully we don't see that in this one.
Round number 2 comes to an end.
Good round for DOVHUN. Better round than the first one. Eloyan had his moments, but not enough. I thought DOVHUN landed that crisp combination early on, the first minute of the round. Showed good movement and was able to win that round on my card.
If you're scoring at home, how do you have it scored? And should we go to a conclusion of the 3rd round, I'll check with my partner Dan Canovio, see how he has his scorecard scored. Looking into the corner of DOVHUN, that's his trainer and manager, Mike McSorley.
We asked early on, with the backdrop of Ukraine, obviously DOVHUN, born in the Ukraine, would that be a motivating factor? Would it be added pressure? It doesn't seem like it's added pressure at all. If anything, it looks like he's come out very sharp, focused. A lot of Ukrainian flags in the crowd. They put that Ukrainian anthem on. It was, a big cheer. I mean, it means we're in solidarity with the Ukraine.
And of course, America is totally, our hearts are with the Ukrainians all the way.
DOVHUN's got him up against the ropes and he's teeing off. Not a lot of those are landing, but they're scoring. I mean, they're not exactly scoring, but they are looking like they are. He's looking like the aggressor. Judges like that. They look for that.
This is round 3 of a 122-pound bout between Olan DOVHUN in the yellow and GERAM Eloyan in the dark trunks.
Eloyan had a good first round, Randy, and he hasn't been able to find that in the following 2. Not being able to time DOVHUN when he comes in, not really jabbing, not throwing at all. So if you're fighting a volume puncher and you're not going to throw at all, you're not going to win rounds.
And this is exactly what Eloyan said he was not going to be doing. He said, I'm coming after him right from the opening bell. And it hasn't happened.
Yeah, Eloyan has a lot of knockouts, you know, in his 6 wins, the 7 wins, 6 of them. And they've all come in the first 3 rounds. So we got a minute left for him to keep that streak going.
But even though Eloyan's had just 9 fights, you know, you tend to think of yourself as some kind of fighter. What are you, a boxer, a runner, a mover, a puncher? And he thinks of himself as strictly a puncher, a go-get-him, pressure puncher.
It's pretty impressive that he has that many knockouts, and he doesn't really throw a lot of punches. You know, that's economical. You know, it reminds me of like a Jermell Charlo or a Gervonta Davis, who don't throw a lot of punches per round. You know, under 40 punches a round, but they have a high knockout percentage. They make their punches count. We're not seeing that so far from Eloyan. He needs to throw a little more, but he certainly has punching power when he can land.
And at the bell, Eloyan gets in a left hook just at the bell. Okay, now that 3 rounds are in the books, we're coming up to the 4th round. Dan Canobio, how do you have it scored?
I got it 3 rounds to nothing for DOVHUN. I thought Eloyan had his best round in the first, just not letting his hands go. As for DOVHUN, he is letting his hands go.
Yes.
Maybe not 100% scoring with a lot of those shots, but he is moving forward. He is taking the fight to Eloyan. He's landing good combinations. 3-zip. Ola DOVHUN.
Arthur McCanny in the center of the ring, brings them together. Start of round number 4. I'm Randy G, the commish, along with Dan Canobio and all of you watching on Fight TV. Star Boxing, Rockin' Fights, 41-hour main event tonight, 122-pounders.
It's been a fun card so far. We had some great performances, some big knockouts, some decisions. And this main event is starting to heat up. We did have a headbutt there, Randy, in the first couple seconds of the round.
You're definitely gonna see the way they are attacking each other, and because we have one southpaw and one right-hander, I am gonna be shocked if we don't see some major headbutt. And I'm holding my breath.
Oh, there's Eloyan finally timed DOVHUN. It partially landed, but it did catch the chin of DOVHUN. Eloyan with his best moment since the first round.
Now, just to let you know, in case there is a headbutt and one of the guys cannot continue, 4 rounds must be in the books. If there is, and we have to stop the fight, we'll go to the scorecards for a technical decision.
We're hoping that that's not the case. Eloyan's having a better round here. He's letting his hands go, and when you let your hands go, good things happen. You know, DOVHUN has slowed his pace a little bit here in the 4th, but a better round for Eloyan.
And several times Eloyan keeps doing that, wrapping his right hand around the head of DOVHUN.
A little holding tactics, buy some time. Doing it again.
Here we go. Eloyan has this look. He's like a statue. He just doesn't change expression.
He's got a great poker face. Oh, nice.
Nice.
That was a big thudding shot.
A straight left hand by DOVHUN.
Looks like Eloyan's getting a little frustrated with the holding. But he's doing holding himself. Wait.
Nice left hand by Eloyan.
Every time Eloyan comes on, DOVHUN has an answer. That's something I like to see from a fighter. You know, when momentum's starting to switch a little bit, will you take back over? And I thought that DOVHUN has done that in this round. Just got out of the way of that punch there.
Competitive round.
It's getting a little sloppy in there.
Yes.
Because fatigue is starting to set in a little bit. We'll see what each fighter has in their motor as we heading into the second half of the fight.
We're looking into the corner of OLEH DOVHUN from Ukraine. That is his longtime trainer, one of his two managers. That's Mike McSorley. They are out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. DOVHUN found them in Pittsburgh. I don't know how he found them, how you come from the Ukraine to the United States and then go to Pittsburgh, but they have one heck of a gym, and it's called the Greb Gym, named after two of the most famous fighters in Pittsburgh history, Billy Conn and Harry Greb.
The DOVHUN has fought a lot on the East Coast, a lot in Pittsburgh area. Even fought in 2018 at the West Virginia Penitentiary.
Yes, I caught that he fought in a penitentiary.
So he is well traveled. His first fight here in New York. Wants to make a name for himself. The 6th ranked super bantamweight by the WBA is OLEH DOVHUN. You got to keep winning, keep rising those ranks, get a title shot.
When they're in front of each other like that, they have some very good exchanges.
I'd like to see more of that in the center of the ring. Easier said than done. You know, both guys holding on a little bit, you know, tangling up. You're going to see that with an orthodox versus a southpaw. But you're right, Randy. When they're in the center of the ring, those exchanges are beautiful. There's a nice
that
right
is
hand.
A beautiful work of art right there by DOVHUN.
A crisp right. There's a big headbutt there.
This is what we were worried about. And the blood is pouring from Eloyan's head. Dan, I told you, whenever you have a right-hander against and they're aggressive like this, you see headbutts way too often. And the blood is coming down the face of Eloyan. I don't know how badly he's cut, and I think that perhaps DOVHUN also is cut. I don't know if this fight is going to be able to continue. And as I said, 4 rounds are in the book. We're going to have to go to the scorecards if Eloyan cannot continue. But I saw a spurt of blood.
He's got a cut over on his hairline. On the left side of his head, that's Eloyan.
Yes.
McCarthy's getting a look at it. It's the blood isn't like, it's not terrible. We're going to have to take a look in between rounds. The only thing when you have a cut above the eye, the blood drips into the eye. But the hair also does a good job of kind of sopping it up.
And again, I think their heads are coming together.
It's weird. The heads are coming together like on a clinch. Like they're not coming together when they're exchanging. It's like after an exchange, like right there. You know, DOVHUN drove his head into Eloyan's.
Now, there's a lot of holding going on the part of DOVHUN. He holds him, and then he lets go. And I'm wondering if Mercanti's going to say anything to DOVHUN about the constant holding.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the corner work in this after this round. We're going to take a look at the cut, and we're also going to see if Mercanti steps in and has a word for both corners.
We'll know about the cut in 10 seconds as the round comes to an end. Eloyan chases DOVHUN across the ring, and the two of them wrestle against the ropes.
All right, let's take a look at that cut. Eloyan got a cut over the... We're going to take a look at DOVHUN first. He's also cut, too, but not as bad as Eloyan.
Bridge of his nose.
Mercanti's, he's got a word. He's telling him, enough with the headbutts. And here's Eloyan. They're working on that cut. It's not pouring down. I think we might be okay here.
And he's got one of the best cutmen in the business, Dr. Richard Schwartz, working on it. He will have, I don't think, any problem whatsoever.
Ladies and gentlemen, also be sure to tune in to the new podcast hosted by Matt Lamar.
Doctor is looking right over the top, right at the scalp there, as Dr. Schwartz works on the cut.
Doctor said it should be okay. Keep an eye on it as the fight goes on. I want to see more exchanges.
Mercante walks over and gives the cornerman a whack on the butt. Says, come on, get out of the ring.
Arthur Mercante, one of the best referees in boxing. You always see him at the Barclays when he tries to wrestle Deontay Wilder after a big knockout.
You want to hear this? Nobody knows this one except Artie, I think. Back in the 70s, when Artie was a teenager, the two of us used to spar with each other every single day.
Who got the better of it?
Artie.
Okay. You're an honest man, Randy.
Artie was, let me tell you, he went to the, I believe, the quarterfinals or the semifinals of the Golden Gloves, lost to Juan Laporte.
Most referees are ex-fighters. Our promoter tonight, Joe DeGuardia, ex-fighter.
We went a lot of rounds together. We were both, he was 112, I was about 115 pounds. And he could fight, too.
We're seeing a good fight here. The first minute of this 6th round. DOVHUN stepping on the gas. Oh, a nice uppercut.
Nice. Look at him move his hands. But he's not moving his head, and he's putting his head right in the way of that overhand right, which Eloyan is trying to drive home. And again, those clinches are being precipitated by DOVHUN. Watch when he gets close.
Oh, nice, perfectly timed right hand from Eloyan. That was right on the money, and you gotta, it's a beauty, it's a thing of beauty. Yeah, he's obviously showing up, and he's blocking a lot of those punches, and it doesn't always look good to the judges, but if you're able to fire back from that shell and land like Eloyan just did, it gets the attention.
A little over a minute to go. Here in round number 6, scheduled for 10.
This is a good back and forth round. This might be the most even of all the rounds. DOVHUN had a lot of success early, but Eloyan really woke him up with that right hand.
Yes, he did.
I think this round's hanging in the balance, so whoever has the best of this last 30 seconds as Eloyan snaps back the neck of DOVHUN, I think will win the round.
From outside, DOVHUN is winning this round. Driving those punches, combinations, head, body. Right hand bounces off the top of DOVHUN's head. Eloyan obviously looking for that one punch.
Yeah, that's pretty clear since the first round, is that it's a dangerous game plan. You're walking a tightrope. Not everyone has the Gervonta Davis power or the Jermell Charlo power.
Eloyan is very frustrated as the round comes to an end. And Mercante did say something right there to DOVHUN. I'm not sure what he said, but Eloyan is looking at him, and he is getting frustrated with all the holding.
I got it 5 rounds to none, Randy. He wins one more round, it's going to be almost impossible for Eloyan to win unless he has a series of knockdowns or knocks him out.
You might have it 6 rounds to none.
Is that the 6th round?
This is round 7 coming up.
See, I got it 6 rounds. Thank you, Randy. 6 rounds to nothing. Even worse for Eloyan.
Okay, so you're in the corner of Eloyan now. What do you tell him? Look, he's being held on the inside.
Right.
He's being outboxed from the outside.
Right.
What do you tell him to do?
I would tell him to let his hands go more. I mean, he's having these moments, but they're singular moments. You know, I can count on one hand the big-time shots that Eloyan landed. So right now, I know you can ambush, but throw it with him.
Look at DOVHUN go! And look at him bobbing and weaving. He better throw something back because McCanny will stop this.
Not one punch thrown from Eloyan, but now he comes back. Not a lot of those landed, but it looks good, right? The
Hard
judges
right
see that.
hand by Eloyan. I think he hurt DOVHUN.
DOVHUN may have punched himself out a little bit. 30 seconds in, he threw about 35 punches.
And now let's see what DOVHUN does. I think DOVHUN is hurt.
Yeah, he's holding on. He's either hurt, tired, or both. It's the one-punch knockout power of Eloyan versus the volume of DOVHUN. Coming into the championship rounds, the 6th-rated super bantamweight in the WBA is DOVHUN. Eloyan wants to play spoiler.
Okay, I'm going to ask you that question again. You're in the corner of Eloyan. He comes back to the corner. What do you tell him now?
I would say, look, listen, when you land, you hurt him, but you're just not throwing enough. You know, you let yourself get into a corner, and DOVHUN let his hands go. Not a lot of them landed, but that looks like one-way traffic. So if I'm Eloyan, let your hands go. You got 2.5 rounds left. What's the point if you have that power if you don't use it? Nice uppercut from the line.
Looks like DOVHUN's got it all back together again.
This is good back and forth action. Eloyan landed a nice uppercut combination. DOVHUN came back with something of his own.
Nice right hook.
Big right hook.
A little bit too wide though, too outside, too over the top, but it landed flush.
It did, and Eloyan's punches have been tighter this fight, but like I said before, just not enough. Few and far between.
And you notice that just about
nice
every
uppercut.
shot by both guys are headshots, especially Eloyan.
And no body work.
No body work.
Might be a little harder for it to land on a shorter guy. You see Canelo has such success to the body because he's always fighting guys that are 6 foot or taller. It's hard to throw a body shot down. Good round. That's a tough one to score.
It really, I think it is a tough one to score.
I give that one to Eloyan. He did stun him a few times.
And if you think back early in the round, DOVHUN took the attack right to Eloyan in the corner, who was bobbing and weaving, and I think getting away from just about every shot, and yet the referee was looking close, and you had a feeling if he kept bobbing and weaving, and even if he didn't get hit, I can't speak for McCanny, but I've seen referees jump in thinking the guy was getting hit.
Well, I thought that was good for McCanny because he wasn't really hurt. Like, I would say maybe 3 or 4 of those actually scored, but it doesn't look good. It looks like one-way traffic.
But I thought he did a great job. Let's see what both guys have in the tank as we go deep into the fight.
Let me ask you this, Randy. You've seen a lot of fights, a lot more than I have in my career, but when you got Eloyan, who landed one big shot in that round, and it probably was the biggest punch of the round, but he was outlanded by DOVHUN. So how do you score that? Is it the one big punch that was the best one, or is it the volume of DOVHUN?
It depends. If you're the judge, are you one of these guys who like those clean, hard shots, or do you like the volume of shots? I really like the volume of the shots. Although I thought that DOVHUN had a tough round there. It wasn't one shot that hit him. He got hit with several hard shots. And I gave Eloyan the round, but that's the only round I've given him.
Yeah, same.
I think if he could do that again and again, I think, you know, if he could do it from here to the end of the fight, we've got ourselves a real close decision.
But 1 minute into this 8th round, it's just the activity of DOVHUN. He's just simply throwing more. He's scoring. But that's just been the MO or it is the MO of Eloyan, is looking for that one perfect punch. Give up rounds.
DOVHUN chopping away, but a lot of those punches are landing on gloves. And this is what you're talking about. I mean, Dovhun's throwing the shots, but he's getting hit with the cleaner shots right now. And now, once again, he comes in, he mauls him. I'm really surprised that Mercante hasn't been a little bit more strict with Dovhun as he comes in and he grabs and he mauls. See, again, like, why is somebody doing that over and over again?
Eloyan holding the neck of Dovhun. Dovhun holding on to at certain points. It's that type of fight.
You know, when you get in close, Eloyan's not holding on. His hands are free. And I think Mike McSorley is a heck of a trainer. He's a real good trainer, but I think he's going to have to work with Dovhun on his inside game.
You need an inside game to defeat some of those guys that are ahead of him in the rankings. You know, Stephen Fulton and Brandon Figueroa, their whole game is inside. They spent 36 minutes in their last fight fighting in a phone booth.
When they get in close, Dovhun is holding on to him like he's in love with him. Like he's a long-lost best friend. I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, how good it is to see you.
It's like all these people that keep coming up to you in the broadcast booth. They want to say hi to you, right? They want to give you a hug.
Well, that's because they haven't seen me in a long time.
Oh, this is getting real chippy.
It's ugly. Mercante's got to say something here.
Here he goes. Mercante's looking in.
Okay. Mercante going to the corner. He is saying something, or is he just looking? I'm not sure if he's saying anything. That was an ugly round. We got 2 rounds to go, and supposing if Eloyan won that round, I still got a 4 points for Dovhun. But can you imagine if Eloyan takes the last 2 rounds of this fight? We could have a very, very close fight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the judges scored those first 6 rounds. I had Dovhun sweeping the first 6, but if Eloyan won maybe 1 or 2 in there and can find a rally in these last 2 rounds, then it should get interesting. But he's just got to let his hands go. Been saying it every round. Probably sound like a beating a dead horse here, but when Eloyan lands, when he throws, he lands and he moves Dovhun.
I got it 78. 74 for Dovhun. How do you have it?
I gotta add it up, but I have Dovhun 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds to 1.
Okay.
But there was a lot of some close ones. Like I said, those early rounds. You know, how did you score them? Like we said before, you know, will you give credit for 1 or 2 flush shots from Eloyan that were probably the best punches of the round, or are you going to reward Dovhun for overall volume?
And once again, in comes Dovhun with the holding. Now Eloyan says, "Watch the head." A big swing and a miss with the right hand by Eloyan. Straight right hand by Eloyan, looking for that one big power shot. I'm still very shocked that Eloyan, I don't know how many body shots he's landed, but I don't think it's been 10.
Yeah, you know, I count punches for a living, and I kind of have a way of counting without counting.
Yeah.
I would say it's under 10 too, Randy.
You know, as I have spent the last 13 years working side by side with Jerry Cooney on Sirius XM Radio, Jerry is one of the big body punchers in heavyweight history, and he is a huge proponent of body punching. He would be sitting here saying, "Where are the body punching? Where's the body shots?
Yep.
The body is there to be hit."
Jabs and body shots. You just don't see it too much these days. But when you do see a guy jab a lot or go to the body, it sticks out. Like Gennady Golovkin, great jab. Canelo Alvarez, great body puncher.
Eloyan is from Belgium, and I wonder what Patini means. They keep saying Patini.
You know what it is too? Eastern European, the amateur style, it's all headshots. They don't go to the body at all. Like Lomachenko does not throw body jumps. Never has. It's getting chippy.
Okay, Mercani should have taken this under control a long time ago. Sometimes a referee, they might miss something, and I know in my commission days, I used to get up on the ring apron, or sometimes I would look at the referee and I'd just motion him, come over here, and I'd say, get a little bit tough with this guy with the holding. This is the 10th and final round coming up, and I think that should there not be a knockout or anything like that, I think that DOVHUN is going to win this fight, but I think the scoring can be kind of curious.
Yeah, well, Eloyan is, I think he's losing this fight, and I think he needs a Hail Mary punch, a knockout to win.
Yeah,
he's going to go back and look at this and be pretty upset when he looks at the tape, whether it's the incessant holding, whether, not his, I should say, of DOVHUN, or whether it's just simply not letting his hands go enough. He might be upset when he takes a look at the tape.
Here it is, 10th and final round.
DOVHUN's coming out. You see this often too. When guys don't throw for a good portion of the fight, they come out in the 12th round and put up their highest output of the fight. And that's what Eloyan, he's letting his hands go. Ukrainian fans chanting, trying to will their guy, DOVHUN. He's going to pick up the win. But, man, this was a tough one. This was a grueling fight, physical fight.
Yes, that it has been a very physical fight.
Going to earn that win tonight. That 14th win.
I can't figure it out how these guys keep winding up in the weirdest positions.
Just one of those fights. It takes two to tango, right? It's a dance in there. It's sweet science. When one of the wheels comes off or it doesn't fit.
See, look, Eloyan is trying to show, I'm not holding. My hands are up here.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out who's the culprit. I think both guys did their fair share of holding. I think DOVHUN has done his fair share of landing shots. Eloyan just hasn't done enough, in my opinion. We got 1 minute left.
I think both these guys, tomorrow is going to be what I call sunglasses day.
Well, you're always rocking the shades. It's always sunglasses day for you, Randy.
See, I like the sunglasses, but these guys are going to need them because their faces are swelling up. They're red and they're raw, especially DOVHUN.
Yeah, he's got the complexion where he swells up.
And here he goes, trying to just steal the show. And I like that. You know, he is in the lead. He's got to know he's in the lead, but he's still doing what he can to win the fight.
He's on his bike.
Final 15 seconds of this fight. It has been an interesting one.
Brawling to end. And of course, Randy, it ends with a nice headlock.
Here we go. Let's see if they have a hug for each other. Eloyan patted him.
Grueling fight.
Boy,
I
you know,
mean, I'm
Mike
looking at
Rules Ukraini. After 10 rounds of championship boxing action, we go to the scores from our ringside judges. John Bazile scores the bout 94-96. Kevin Morgan 96-94. Tony Paolillo 97-93. The winner and still undefeated North American Boxing Association Super Bantamweight Champion.
no surprise